Good morning class. Today in this lecture we are going to discuss the next point in third chapter, that is form and event handling. In that we discuss the form objects and element. And the next point, that is changing the attribute value dynamically. As well as we discuss in this lecture getElementById method and the innerHTML method. Before going to start our today's lecture, first of all, we'll discuss the previous lecture's point. In previous lecture, we discussed the form events. Event means what? Event is an activity that represents change in an environment. For example, mouse clicks or pressing a particular key of a keyboard represents the event. And a JavaScript event is an action that can be detected by a JavaScript, and many of them are initiated by the user's action, but some of them generated by the browser itself. These are the form events. There are mainly two types of events: key event and mouse event. There are mainly four types of events that can be used to trigger any JavaScript code when there is an event occur on a form level. For example, on change event, this event or JavaScript run this event when an element changes. On select event, JavaScript run this event when an element is selected. On blur event, this event JavaScript run when an element loses the focus. And on focus event, JavaScript run this event when an element gets focus. Next, we discussed in previous lecture, that is mouse event. There are mainly 6 types of event. First is a on click event, when mouse clicks on any element. Next is a on mouse over element, on mouse out element, on mouse down element, on mouse up element, and on mouse move element. These are the mouse events. Next, we discussed in a previous lecture, that is key events. There are mainly 3 types of key event. First is on key down, on key press, and on key up. This is the 3 types of key events. These are all the previous lecture's point. Now in this lecture we are going to discuss the form and events. Form objects and elements. Our third chapter, that is form and event handling, already started. Let us see today's first point, that is form objects and element. Question related to that point is explain form object and element, and this is the answer of this question. A web page is a collection of various elements including a window as a first element. Means website contains a various object, and the very first object is a window object. The window object contains the HTML document, which is called as a document object. Means a window contains an HTML document which is known as a object. And the document object has several important functionalities, and out of which the most commonly used functionality is a write method. Here the document object has a various properties like document.write method, which allows access to and modify of a document content. The document can have more than one form, and a form can have multiple elements. The objects are represented in a hierarchical order. First is a window object. This object is a top of the hierarchy, and it is outermost element of the object hierarchy. Next is the document object. Every HTML document which loads into a window is a document object, and it contains the element of the page. Means window contains the HTML document which is known as a document object, and the document object have several important functionalities. Next is a form object. All tags those are included in a form tag set the form object. Next is a form control elements. The form object includes all elements like the text field, buttons, radio buttons and the checkbox etc. defined for that object. All the form objects are stored in an array known as a form. A form is placed on a document and the form objects are stored in the array called as a form, and they appear in order in which the forms appear in the document. Each form can be referred by using the index of the forms array. For example, suppose we want to refer a second form, then we write document.form in a square bracket 1. And a form can referred by its name. For instance, if a form has a name that is form 1, then we can refer this form as a document.forms.form1. Next point, that is example. In this example, window.document.forms here in a square bracket 1. That means you are referring to a form at the second index. Okay, window.document.forms.myform, that means you are referring to a form that name that is my form. All the elements of the form are stored in an array called as elements, and they are stored in order they appeared on the form. Elements can be accessible through its index or a name. Next example, window.document.forms.invoice.elements3, that means the elements at the index 3 in invoice form. Invoice is the name of a form. For accessing element, instead of window.document.forms, we can write document.write, or it is perfectly allowed in a JavaScript. Next point is the example. Here in this example, we write a JavaScript code to access the value from an element of a form. Let us see the code to access the value from elements of a form. First of all, take a notepad. After that, in the notepad file, you can write first of all HTML tag. After that, here I can write head tag. After that, I am writing a script. Here type of that script is equal to text JavaScript. You can also write the language is equal to JavaScript. After that, here I am taking one function name as a my function. In that function, I am displaying one message by using alert method, that is you have entered the name. Concat this message with the document dot forms dot name of the form, that is my form, dot here username and the value. Okay. After displaying this alert message, I am closing the my function. After closing a my function, here I am closing a script tag. After that, closing a head tag. After that, I am writing a body tag. In that body tag, I am writing the form tag. Here in that form tag, I am taking the name attribute is equal to here name of the form, that is my form. After that, I I am taking one text that is enter name. Here enter name, in that I am taking the input field that is input type is equal to type of the input is in the form of text and the name of that input type is equal to username. Okay. After that, here again I am typing the input type, and in that input type I am taking one button, and here the value of that button is equal to submit. Okay. After submitting the value of that button, here I am taking the on-click event and assigning to that event the main function, that is my function. After that, close the form tag, close the body tag, and close the HTML tag. This is our full program. In that program, I am taking one form, name as of my form. Here I am taking one text that is an enter name, and in that enter name we enter some name. After that, here I am taking one button, and in that I am generating on click event to that function. Here in that function I am taking one alert message that is you have entered the name. Okay, save this file with the HTML document. .html. Okay, and let us see the output of this code. This is the output of our program. Here I am taking one text and here I am clicking the submit button. After on click event, it generates the message you have entered the name, that is the value of SITP. Means in this program we can refer the form element that is text and display the message by using the alert box or alert method. We can access the all elements of a form using the elements array also. Next point is the getElementById method. This DOM method is used for accessing any element on the page via its ID attribute. The document .getElementById method returns the element of a specified ID. Means it returns the element of specified ID. In previous page, we have used document.form1.name.value to get the value of a input value. Instead of this, we can use document.getElementById method to get the value of a input text. But we need to define ID for a input field. The syntax of the element.by_id is a document.getElementById. Here in the parenthesis element ID is the parameter. Here element ID is a string which is a required parameter and the ID attribute value of the element you want to get. Let us see what is meant by DOM. DOM means a document object model. When a web page is loaded, the browser creates a DOM, that is document object model of the page. The DOM is a standard and the DOM defines a standard for accessing the documents, and the DOM means the document object model is a platform and a language neutral interface that allows a program and scripts to dynamically access and update the content, structure and style of the document. The DOM standard is separated into the three different parts, that is core DOM, XML DOM and the HTML DOM. What is meant by HTML DOM? HTML DOM is a standard object model and the programming interface for the HTML, and it defines the HTML element as an object, the property of all HTML elements, the method is to access all the HTML elements, and the event for all HTML elements. And in that document object model, getElementById is the method, and this is the most common way to access the HTML element, to use the ID of the element. Next point is the example. Write a JavaScript code to demonstrate getElementById method. Let us see the code related to that method. First of all, take the notepad file. In that notepad, here I am taking the as usual tags, that is HTML head and the script tag. In that script tag, here I am typing the script type as a text JavaScript. Okay. After that, I am taking one function, that is here I am taking the function name as a check. In a check function, I am taking one variable, that is var I, and here assigning the document dot get element. Here take element in a uppercase letter, B in also uppercase letter and I in also uppercase letter, because the JavaScript is a case sensitive language. And here I am taking the ID as a my text. Okay, means in this line I am taking one variable, that is I, and assigning document.getElementById with the my text. Here I am taking one condition here, in that if suppose I dot value is not equal to null, suppose it is not equal to null, then display the alert message, that is you entered a I means the variable dot that value. Okay, else here again I am displaying one message, that is please enter some text. Okay, and close the function. After that, close the script tag. After that, close the head tag. After that, open a body tag. In that body tag, I am taking one form. Here I am taking the name of a form as a entry. Okay, in that I am taking one input type, is equal to text. I am taking one text, and here defining ID is equal to my text. The name of that ID is a my text. And here again I am creating a button, that is input type is equal to button element. In that I am clicking on click event, and here I am passing the check method to that on click event, and here value is equal to, here value of that button is equal to submit. After that, close the form tag, close the body tag, and at the final close the HTML tag. Save this file with the HTML extension. And see the output of this code. Sorry, in this code I missed to write the spelling getElementId here, ELEMENT by ID. Save this file because JavaScript is a case sensitive language. Suppose minor mistake in a JavaScript code, then at that time as a output only blank web page is displayed as a output. So that writing a code, JavaScript code, you have to precaution that write the spelling of the each and every property and the method is to write. Means write the spelling each and every property or the method is to write. Okay, let us see the output of this code. This is the output of our program. Here in the text, I am taking suppose SRT and click on the submit button. At that time you enter the is equal to SRT. Means this alert message is displayed on a web page. Suppose here I am not writing any text and click on the submit button. At that time it display another alert message, that is please enter some text. Okay, this is the full program. Sorry, this is the output of our program. Next point is the innerHTML method. This is also a DOM method. In that, the easiest way to get the content of an element by using the innerHTML property. And the innerHTML property is useful for getting or replacing the content of a HTML element. Each HTML element has an innerHTML property that defines both the HTML code and the text that occurs between that element's opening and closing tag. The innerHTML property sets or returns the HTML content that is innerHTML of an element. Means the innerHTML property can be used to get or change the any HTML element including the HTML and body tag. Here the syntax of the innerHTML is return the HTML property, that is HTML element document .innerHTML, and by using the set innerHTML property we write this syntax, that is HTML element object .innerHTML is equal to text. Here text is a specifies the HTML content of an element. Here text means it specifies the HTML content of an element. Let us see one example to implement innerHTML property. First of all, take the notepad file. As usual, write the HTML and head tag. After that, write a script tag. After that, here I am taking one function name as change text. After that, here I am writing document dot get element by id method, and here I am passing id as my text. Okay, here after that here I am writing the inner HTML method. Here write the HTML in the uppercase letter is equal to, here I am passing one text, that is good day as a text. Okay, and close the function tag. Here after that close the script tag, close the head tag. After that I write a body tag. In that body tag I am writing the header 4. Here I am writing the header 4, and here I am defining id is equal to my text as a get element id. Okay, close this header tag, and here I am writing the welcome text and close the header 4. After that here I am writing the form name is equal to entry. Okay, here I am taking one button, that is type is equal to button, then on click event. In that on click event I am passing the change text message. Okay, and value for this button is equal to change text. Change text. Okay, close this input type field, close this form, close this body tag, and close the HTML tag. Save this file. And see the output. This is the output of our program. Here in that header I am taking that text that is welcome to good day, means changing the text inside a bolded type. This is the output of our program. Means the inner HTML property can be used to write the dynamic HTML on the HTML document, and it is used mostly in the web pages to generate a dynamic HTML such as registration form, comment form links, etc. Okay, next point is the changing attribute value dynamically. The question related to that point is how to change the attribute value dynamically. The answer of this question is we can change an attribute of an element by assigning the new value to that attribute in a JavaScript function, and the function can be called when an appropriate event is occurred, and the event is onChange event. It executes a JavaScript when a user changes the value of an element. It is possible to change the attributes of the form elements dynamically. That means during the form filling process itself, the color or font of the text field can be changed, and this dynamic change helps the user to notify the important changes in the form field. Let us see one example related to that point, means JavaScript code to change the attribute value dynamically. In this example, We're changing the attribute value dynamically, and we are changing the background color of the text and the text color also as the users enter some data in it. Okay, let us see this example. First of all, in the notepad file, here I am taking the HTML tag. After that, I am taking the head tag. After that, I am taking a script tag. In that script tag, here I am typing script type is equal to text and JavaScript. Okay. After that, I am taking one function that is change me function. Name of that function is change me. Okay, and here I am passing one parameter that is ele, means element. After that, here I am writing element dot, here I am changing the color by using style dot color. Okay, here I am changing the style that color that text that is blue with the blue color. After that, here that element dot background color of this text by using style dot background is equal to, here I am changing with this with the pink color. Okay, close this function. After that, close the script, close the head tag. After that, here I am writing a body tag. In body tag, I am taking one form name as a my form. Okay. After that, here I am taking one text that is enter roll number. Here enter roll number. Okay. Here in that text, here I am taking the input type as a text. Here name of that text is equal to rule. Okay, and here on change event is applied to that function, that is change me function. Here function name is a change me, and here I am passing this keyword. Okay, to accessing the current object or current method. After that, here I am taking the break tag. Okay. After that, here again you can take one more text. Here I am taking one more text that is here instead of roll number, here I am writing a name. Okay, enter a name. Here input type as a text, name is equal to, instead of roll, here I am taking name. Okay, and also on change event, the change me function is passed to that on change event. Okay, after that, here I am taking a break tag. After that, here again I am taking the input type is equal to, here I am taking one button. Here you can also write the submit button, submit button, or you can write the type as a button, and value is equal to submit. Okay, close this input type, close this form tag, close this body tag, and close this HTML tag. Okay, save this file. and see the output. This is the output of our program. Here in the text I am writing the roll number. First of all, it changes the color as well as text color. Here I am taking as a name, that is SIT. Here also changing the background color and the text color, and here I am clicking on a submit button. This is the output of our program. Means it is possible to change the attributes of a form element dynamically. This is the all about our today's lecture's point. Thank you.